Hi and welcome to the fifth video tutorial on IoT and embedded cybersecurity. So in my last video I talked about how to set up your IoT systems and identified three possible ways. One is to use an IoT platform, two is to customize your app, and three is to deploy your server on your Pico-W. So in the last video I showed you how you could make your Pico as an IoT server where you connect your mobile phones or your devices to your Pico to request for the temperature sensor, humidity sensor, and also the status of the relay. So in this video tutorial I'll be moving to the second part, which is using existing IoT platform to set up your IoT. Alright, so let's have a look at what the IoT platform looks like. Once again, so you have your Pico-W or your Pico-W or your IoT device. So your IoT device is connected to your sensors, your actuators, which reads your temperature, humidity, or whatever parameters you're measuring, and sends the data to your IoT platform. So your IoT platform is deployed to the cloud. Okay, so we have different types like the Thingspeak, Adafruit IO, Blink, Firebase, Google Cloud IoT, AWS IoT, so many of them. All right, so you send your data from your IoT device to your IoT platform in the cloud. So this IoT platform in the cloud stores, manages your IoT device, manages all the data that's been transmitted from your IoT device, and also provides access to visualization from either your laptops, your PCs, your mobile phones, anywhere as long as you are connected to the internet. So I'll go through some of the IoT platforms. All right, but before we go through the IoT platforms, you need to consider certain factors before selecting an IoT platform. Okay, so some of the factors you need to consider is what type of IoT protocol does the platform support. Does it support HTTP, MQTT, REST API? Does it provide a REST API? Does it allow you to connect your device to the platform? So does it have device and protocol compatibility? What about the cost and pricing? So some of the IoT platforms have free plans which you could try out, and if you want something more, then you could subscribe and make use of more of their features and facilities. Is it scalable, and what's the performance like? Scalability in the sense that, let's say you have a product that you want to deploy using an existing IoT platform. Can it support up to 500 devices, 1 million devices, 2 million devices? Okay, then also in terms of performance, what's the downtime like? You don't want to connect your IoT platforms for your clients or your customers, and at some point they are not able to access their data or control their devices via their mobile phones or their systems. All right, then what kind of security features does the IoT platform provide? Does it provide the transport layer security or other types of security? Does it provide encryption and things like that? Then does the IoT platform support data management and analytics? So some IoT platforms provide not just data management but also analytics, and the analytics could be powered by machine learning algorithms and so on and so forth. Is it user friendly? So how easy is it for you to connect your IoT device to the platform? How quick can you set up your IoT device? And I'll show you how you could quickly set up one in the next few minutes. Okay, does it support open source, and so on and so forth? So you need to consider some of these factors before you select an IoT platform. All right, so let's look at some of the IoT platforms you could use to develop your prototypes. Okay, so we have the Thingspeak. Okay, go to thingspeak.com. The Thingspeak was developed by MathWorks. Okay, so I will show you how to use the Thingspeak later on. We have Thingsboard, we have the Blink, UB.Dot, Particle, Tinga.io, Adafruit.io. Okay, so this is another interesting one that you could play around with. Okay, we have the Node-RED. So Node-RED is for beginners and between beginners and intermediate. So it has several features you could explore. Then we have the Signing My Devices. So some of these platforms provide IoT support for IoT protocols such as we have seen on this, as you can see. So we have the HTTP MQTT REST API. Some provide support for co-op, okay, WebSockets. So again, it depends on what you want to do. If your IoT device is able to support any of these protocols, then you can use whichever one you feel comfortable with. Okay, so some of them are free, some of them you need to pay. Okay, all right. So some of them are free and paid, where the free tiers provide limited accessibility. But from what I have here, the Node-RED is open source, which is free. All right. So let's look at some of the professional IoT platforms, okay, that are out there. So we have the Microsoft Azure IoT Hub, the AWS IoT Core, Google Cloud IoT Core, IBM Watson IoT platform. So we have a good number of professional IoT platforms that are out there, okay. So some of them are pay per use, okay. So like the Microsoft Azure IoT can support up to 300 million messages per day per unit. So it's scalable via multiple units and tiers, okay. For the AWS IoT Core, automatically scales to support billions of devices and trillions of messages. Okay, so these are some of the features of the professional IoT platforms. All right. So let's look at how to use the Thingspeak. Okay, so again, the Thingspeak is developed by was developed by the MathWorks. Okay, so if you're familiar with MATLAB, then definitely you should you probably might know about the Thingspeak. So I'm going to demonstrate how you could set up your Thingspeak on your Raspberry Pi Pico-W so that you can have your data displayed on the Thingspeak IoT platform. So here's the Thingspeak platform. So you go to thingspeak.mathworks.com. Okay, so it brings you to this particular website. And so the first thing you want to do is to sign in if you already have an account. If you don't have an account, then you need to create one. So you just click on this create one and you follow the prompt. So I'm going to sign in since I have an account. Okay, so now once you sign in, it says sign in successfully. What you will see is number one, channels. So my channels, okay, apps. So if you want to do some MATLAB analysis, MATLAB visualization, some plugins, time control, React, TalkBack, and Thin HTTP. You have devices here, okay. So then you have support, tutorials, examples, documentation, and so forth, okay. If you want to buy, you can click on this to buy. All right. So now I've checked on my channel. So currently I have just 3 channels. So for this free version of the Thingspeak, it only allows maximum of 4 channels. In other words, if I'm creating a project, all right, so I have my Pico-2 project for my IoT temperature humidity controller. So I'm going to create a channel for that, and I'll show you how to create a channel. So it only allows you to create maximum of 4 channels. Okay, so I'll click on new channel, then I'll put the name. So let me use this for time. So IoT temperature and humidity controller. So it could be any title. So you provide some short description, okay, to monitor temperature and humidity and relay status. Okay, then you need to select the field labels. Okay, so in this case we are transmitting temperature, humidity, and relay status from our Pico-W to this IoT platform. So you could label this as, you can change the label. So let's say this is temperature. Okay, this is temperature. Then select another field for the humidity. So humidity. Okay, select another field for your relay status. Okay, so if you've done that, so every other thing could you can just leave it as it is. Then you click on save channel so that you can save this new channel that you have created. Okay, so once it's saved, all right, so it automatically brings you to this dashboard. So it says created less than a minute ago. All right, so the next thing I want to do is I want to convert this relay. So right now it's more like a graph. Okay, it's going to show me the data in form of a graph, but I want to make it add a new widget to that. So I'm going to click add widget. So I want a lamp indicator, so I'll click on next. So it's going to ask me which of the fields am I taking the data from. So I'll say I'm taking it from field 3, okay, for the relay status. So these are the conditions, okay. So meaning once the data received on this field 3 is greater than 0, then it will turn the lamp on, so, and makes the color green, okay. So, and it takes it monitors the data every 15 seconds, okay. So I'll say create. So another thing you need to take note is what's the frequency or the time interval for which your IoT platform can receive data. So for Thingspeak is minimum of 15 seconds. So if you are working on a project that requires monitoring less than 50 seconds, maybe you want to monitor every 3 seconds or every 2 seconds, then maybe Thingspeak may not be the right one for you, or maybe you can explore their paid version, okay. So in this case I'll just delete this guy since I don't need it anymore, so you can just click on that to delete. All right, so it says field value unavailable. Yep. So we have, you can see how quickly it is to set up the IoT the visualization on this Thingspeak IoT platform. So now what I need to do is go back to my Tony IDE, okay. So I have my series of codes which are already here. So I labeled it as, I save it as IoT_Thingspeak.py, okay. So again we are importing, so by now you should be familiar with all these libraries. So the new library we just added is the uRequest library, okay. Then your Wi-Fi credential, so make sure your Wi-Fi credentials are correct, replace with your own SSID and password, okay. Then one important thing you need from your Thingspeak for it to communicate is your API key. So you need to get the right API key. So I'm going to show you how to retrieve that from your IoT platform. So you come in here and come to API keys. So this is the right key, so you just copy this guy, copy, okay. So for this particular, so every new channel you create generates an API key. So your Thingspeak, sorry, your Raspberry Pi Pico-W will only be able to communicate with your channel if it has the correct API key. So I've copied this, then I go back to my Tony IDE. So I'm going to replace this one with the new. So this is the API key. Then every other item remains the same. So in this case we are saying the threshold is 40 degrees for the temperature. Once the temperature value from the DHT11 sensor is up to 40 degrees or more, then it should switch on the relay, activate the alarm, okay. Then all of this remains the same, connecting to Wi-Fi and all of that. Then your functions to read your temperature and your humidity values from your DHT11, the function to update your OLED display, and the function to control your relay, all right, function to sound the alarm using the buzzer alert, okay. And so this is another important one you need to take note: sending data to Thingspeak. This is the function that helps us send our data from our Raspberry Pi Pico-W to the Thingspeak platform. So what is happening here is this: it's taking the value temperature, humidity, and relay status that will be supplied to it when this function is called, and it will make use of, we can say, field 1, field 2, and field 3. So it will send these values, temperature, humidity, and relay status, using our Thingspeak API key and the URL which we defined earlier, okay. So after that, the main program, okay, so first is to connect to Wi-Fi, then display on the OLED system starting. So now we need to take note of the last update time, okay. That's because at some point it will check if the last update time was 15 seconds, then it will transmit. So it calls this function to transmit. Every 15 seconds it will send data to the Thingspeak platform, okay. So again, why true? That is why our Pico-W is powered on and is working. Provided it's connected to the internet, it will read the temperature and humidity sensor. Provided there's a data, okay, it will call the function control relay. It will send buzzer alert, update the OLED, okay. Then every 15 seconds it will send data to the Thingspeak, and so if there's no data on the temperature humidity sensor, then of course it's going to read sensor error and it will keep running the application. All right, so once let's click on, let me connect my Pico-W to my Tony IDE and let's run it and see how it works. Okay, so I've connected my Pico-W with the temperature, relay and humidity. I'll show you in a while. Okay, so now we need to press the stop button. Stop. Okay, so let's run it and see how it works for us. So it's running at the moment. Okay, okay, yep, it's connected. So now let's go to our Thingspeak. Okay, so back to our public view. So nothing. Let's go back to our private view. Okay, so this is our channel that was created 6 minutes ago. Okay, so let's see if it's going to receive data based on from the Pico-W. So remember, it's every 15 seconds. So everything is okay. Let's refresh this and see. Okay, so it has received its first data. So it says last entry less than a minute ago. Okay, so let's I'm going to let this. So again, you can see our relay is off. Okay, relay is off. There's no, okay, the relay is off. Okay, so it's received second data. Okay, so this currently this is 21:59. This is almost 10 p.m. here. Okay, West African time. Okay, so it's almost 10 p.m. so this is the right. Yep, so it's received the third data. Okay, so this is 10 o'clock 03 seconds. Okay, okay, now so you can see our temperature values about 32. You can see our humidity is about 15 at the moment. Okay, so let me go back to my Tony IDE. So I can adjust the threshold. So you can see it's saying anytime it sends the data to the Thingspeak, it displays on the shell here. Okay, I could come here and say let's increase our threshold. So let's reduce the temperature because currently it's 32. Is it 32 or 35? Let me have a look again. So it's about 32 degrees Celsius. So let me see. Okay, if the temperature is greater than 30, it should sound the alarm. Okay, so I'm going to stop this and run again. So when I stop, I run again. Okay, so let's go back to our, okay, yep, so you can see it has activated the alarm. So what's here to transmit data here. So let's see if the data is going to come. Okay, so I'm just going to take a short video of this okay, so as you can see, the indicator has changed to full green, so indicating that our relay is on and the alarm is also on. Okay, so it's working perfectly, as you can see. So you can see, so it's within a very short time you can set up your IoT dashboard so that at anywhere, at any point in time, you can visualize what is happening. Okay, so as you can see, the temperature is about 32 degrees Celsius, the humidity is about 18%, and the relay says it is on. Okay, so you can see our relay is on, and of course on the dashboard it shows that our relay is on. Okay, so this is how to set up your Thingspeak IoT platform. So within a short time you can do this. So you can do a lot of other stuff. You can explore more. Maybe you want to send notifications, or you want to do some analysis, you want to access your data. Then you can play around with these settings to see how to rescale your graphs and how you want your data to be displayed. Okay, so if you have learned one or two things from this short tutorial, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hope to see you in my next video tutorial. Thank you for watching, and bye.